Dog. Missing Link canceled. Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots. It's been
Busy
an eventful
week.
week. Dude, yeah.
Yes.
I know you got a
Yes. I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Firstly, the Kingdom Hearts 4 and Missing Link updates didn't come spontaneously. They came right when Square Enix dropped their financial results for the fiscal year, which ended on the 31st. So, yeah, they were due for a lot of news, and I felt like Kingdom Hearts definitely needed it. It's been 3 years since
We've been
Kingdom
dry.
Hearts 4. Yeah, since the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal, and it's been a struggle as a fan. And, Missing Link has been up in the air. We've gotten updates every now and then, but, there's been a lot of uncertainty with this game. And I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts on that cancellation.
I do. Missing Link is a game that I really, really wanted to play. Because it was the 3-dimensional version of, Union Cross of Unchained Key that everybody wanted. I mean, if you were a Kingdom Hearts fan and you were there, you were looking at this 2D silly chibi game, and I mean, it was cool, it was fun. I had a lot of fun playing it, but it was not the, Kingdom Hearts experience that we were looking for, and that's what Missing Link was going to be. It was written by, a different dude. It was, directed by a different dude. It was just a different thing, right? It wasn't like the same exact, it was Kingdom Hearts, but it was new and it was refreshing. It had societies. It had, a police force. It was like, culturally different. It was more, isolated to Kingdom Hearts' plot. And it seemed like something that we really needed to kind of fill in the gap. So I don't know what they're going to do with the information that was going to be in that game. I hope that we get Missing Link content in some shape or form. Whether they want to make a single player game out of it, which I don't think they will. But I hope that we get some sort of cutscene movie or some sort of back cover thing to make up for the fact that we no longer have Missing Link. Now, I will say, Soul, I don't think that it was going to be successful. I mean, we would have played it because we're Kingdom Hearts fans. We're Kingdom Hearts fans till we die. In fact, I was at work today and I had probably the most unassuming guy come in my store, very just like laid back, worked at Toyota as a mechanic, and he sees my nobody tattoo and he goes, "Bro, did you see the KH4 screenshots?" And I was like,
there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype for KH4.
And I'm just saying, yeah, there is. And I'm just saying that for everybody to know that's watching this. This is bigger than you think. Kingdom Hearts is a lot bigger than people think. And I'm saying this as the co-founder of Final Weapon and Soul here, who is the managing editor. We know that every single time we do anything Kingdom Hearts related, it is some of the best performing content we post. Period. It's kind of why
always gets traction.
Exactly. Dude, the giveaway for the Steam, like that was just one code. And that broke all sorts of records for just giveaways in general that I've seen. Not even just ours, but generally. So the Kingdom Hearts fan base is huge. But I want to say this, because I want to pass it over to you. But I want to say, Missing Link being canceled might be a good thing. It might be a good thing. Because honestly, I don't know if it would have popped off. And I think it probably would have just been a waste of Square Enix's resources, that they could be, spending on Kingdom Hearts 4. But I'd love to hear what you think about it.
I do have a lot of thoughts on that. And I'll say Missing Link's been in development for years. I mean, it was originally announced in April 2022 alongside KH4.
Yeah.
And that reveal was very memorable. But, over the years, I've been left with so many questions about, how long is this game going to be active? Because I feel like the concept of this game being sort of this, almost like a Pokemon Go-esque sort of game, where, your location matters, you go move around the world, engage in all sorts of content in this game. I felt like, I didn't want to admit it at the time, but I felt like the concept of Missing Link, it just came too late.
I
And I
agree.
feel like it should have been repurposed to be more of a traditional game, because I think what Missing Link brings to the table is very important. Again, you can see it in the title itself. It's Missing Link. It's supposed to give us a lot of context behind a lot of the events after Dark Road, and sort of leading into the broader Kingdom Hearts franchise that most of us have played, which is 1, 2, 3, so on. And I never felt truly confident with Missing Link. So
I agree.
I do think in a way it is a good thing that it got canceled, but again, as a lot of people have sort of surmised and gone to the conclusion of, Missing Link was supposed to be important to the story of KH4. I remember back then there was a lot of speculation about who was narrating the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and a lot of evidence was pointing towards Sigurd.
Yeah.
And that we were supposed to know a lot more about who Sigurd was by now, if Missing Link was on track to release when it was supposed to. And
Yeah.
for nearly 3 years, we just haven't had the content that we wanted as KH fans. And I think Square Enix eventually found out that, hey, this game isn't going to really last long if we put it out. The sort of game model that it's following really isn't something that people are looking for right now.
No.
And, to be
You're right.
financially viable, they need a lot of players. And I don't think the Kingdom Hearts fan base by itself can support this game for very long.
Yeah. Look what happened to Tribe 9, and that's not even in the same vein. Like that game lasted for a couple of months, like literally a couple of months, and it's gone in November.
Yeah.
Right? Like
the beta phase for it lasted longer than the actual,
that's facts.
release.
That's actually
before
facts.
the end
It feels
of
like it.
Yeah, before that end of service announcement, the game was barely even out. So that
Yeah, we have an incomplete story for Tribe 9. Like it's an incomplete game, pretty much. So it's like they were like, oh, we're gonna announce chapter 4, and then like, oh well, chapter 4 is canceled now. I'm like, okay, well,
yes. And I felt
know.
like Missing Link was probably going to follow that a similar route if it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be financially viable. And just real quick before I let you share some more thoughts on it.
Of course.
This I think Missing Link's cancellation is part of a more broader sort of move that Square Enix is going for, which is our mobile games market and business is just not performing. So we can't, be cultivating these projects even for some of their biggest franchises. Like we've seen it recently, like in the recent year or so, where all these Final Fantasy mobile games are just shutting down one by one. We saw it with Opera Omnia. We saw it with Brave Exvius. Like, I think Square Enix is realizing that these games are not what people want, and unfortunately, that also affects Kingdom Hearts fans, because we were supposed to get Missing Link, and they deemed it that their resources should be put toward making something even bigger and better with KH4 and anything else that's in the works at Square right now.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 4 is what we need right now as Kingdom Hearts fans, and I think Square is realizing that the type of people that are fans of Square Enix games are not the type of people that want to play them on a phone, right? Like Ever Crisis might be the exception, but the majority of their games have completely kerplunked, in terms of just everything. Brave Exvius, I was just made aware that the protagonist of Brave Exvius' name was Rain. I did not know that. Pain
What a
told me that.
coincidence.
Yeah, I was like, I made that name specifically to fill in the gap that there was no Final Fantasy protagonist named Rain. and you're telling me that there's a FF protag named Rain, and I'm like, well, I guess he didn't exist anymore. I'm the only Rain. So, it just sucks. We had Mobius and all those other games that just don't exist anymore, and all these Square Enix games are end of service. And I think they're trying to, like you said, they're looking in, and there was a point in time where they nuked all of their, Western studios. Deus Ex is gone. Tomb Raider is gone. Just Cause is gone. Hitman is now, a different game, right? Or different studio, different publisher, IO Interactive. So, Square Enix has completely reconstructed what they are, and obviously we've had, the studios change names countless times, which is kind of annoying. Because I have to keep up with the silly names, and I can't keep up with the silly names, but it's okay. The screenshots that we're seeing coming out of Kingdom Hearts 4, I have a profile picture of Sora from this. I expect everybody to be doing this. The majority of people are going to be doing the exact same thing I did, and they're going to be cropping in on whichever screenshot they want to use, and they're going to be using it as their profile picture. And the character models
one as well,
dude, mind bending. The Strelitzia one is crazy. She looks like a doll, like a real life picture of a doll. They look like. This is the thing about KH3. People said that the characters look plastic. When Sora was in Quadratum, the shading just looked so much better for him, And then now we have KH4 Sora. If this is in-engine footage, right, or an in-engine screenshot, I mean, that is the best looking Square Enix screenshot of all time for those two characters. If we're talking about the character models, they have not looked better. They have not looked better. I swear to God, that's Visual Works. And if it's not, we have one of the best looking games ever.
Well, I will remind you, it is being developed in Unreal Engine 5, so...
Yeah, it's true.
It's visually impressive. We saw what, sort of the framework of Unreal Engine 5 could do on top of an older game like Oblivion.
Yeah,
that engine makes that game pop off in a way I could have never imagined. It's easily the best looking game in the series, and that engine is responsible for it. And when I'm looking at the screenshots, I definitely think all of it is in engine.
Of course.
The screenshot with Sora's face specifically, that's a huge upgrade over what we saw 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's massive.
You already know from these screenshots, they've been cooking for a while.
Yeah.
Especially
you can tell they haven't been dormant.
Especially the particle effects in that one screenshot, in the
where he looks like
underpass.
He's under the bridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
The underpass.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like time has stopped or something.
Yeah, it does.
Because if you see the underpass part where it's just Sora and he's facing in that direction, the screenshot next to it is him, we're seeing it from the other perspective. So we're kind of seeing both those angles there.
Yeah.
So I think it might be from the same scene.
It you might be right. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
This probably is, because you can see some of the particles in the screenshot of Sora, of his face. You can see the particles. So I think that is probably the exact same scene. What is happening to Darkseid? There's beams of light getting shot at him. That's interesting. I want to talk about, actually, forget about that. I want to talk about these shadows. What is going on? Now, there's a Japanese screenshot that we had uploaded that also, Square Enix uploaded it, but we put it on the Twitter because I'm looking at our Twitter. Follow Final Weapon on Twitter, FNLWPN, guys. These enemies look really freaky. The one with the gauntlets kind of reminds me of a Seath. Is that crazy? Looks like a Seath.
It does. These Heartless look, I guess, more humanoid. like it's as if something had corrupted them and then they became heartless, whereas like the heartless that we're familiar with, like the shadows, like the small, chibi looking shadows from the rest of the KH series, looks kind of uh cartoonish. Like it doesn't have this sort of like menacing vibe that these shadows do.
Yeah, it's like
And
when. Sorry, go ahead. I had
yeah,
something, but
yeah, just real quick, I'm just wondering like if we're in Quadratum here, right? And
mm-hmm.
I'm wondering like where are these shadows coming from?
Right, they have to be coming from people. Like this is kind of like Fire Force with the spontaneous human combustion, like the fire elementals. You know, like that's what they remind me of a little bit. Like they remind me of kind of like a Kingdom Hearts version of like that same concept. That could be what's happening. You know, how humans turn into shadows. Like this is obviously would, I mean, if the lore serves correct and it's still the same thing, this is what happened to the people. Like these are people. And there's like in the Japanese screenshot, there's this like four-legged thing with like a cross on its head. I have no idea what that is. I can't describe it, so I'm not gonna try. Um, the ones with the big gauntlets have like heart holes, and I think
Yes.
we're gonna get like how the dark side has always had a hole in its chest. We're probably gonna get a more accurate example in Quadratum of what a heartless is, because in Kingdom Hearts, the universe, the three planes of Kingdom Hearts' universe, Heartless have hearts when you kill them. Like they float up into the sky.
Yes.
Like it doesn't make sense, right? So it's like, Kingdom Hearts, a lot of it makes a lot of sense to me because I'm a fan and I pay attention to it. And, on the Lost Pages, you're not listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. Like we're not going to sit here and go, oh, none of it makes sense. Like if you guys can play Metal Gear, you can play Kingdom Hearts, bro. The difficulty is the same in terms of understanding the series. Like you just have to pay attention. But yeah, the Heartless in this, if these are Heartless, which I think they are, right? At least the unreality
Right.
version of what a Heartless is.
Yeah.
These look insane, is what I will say. And
Yeah.
I'm loving the outfit, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Just going back to the shadows real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This Kingdom Hearts 4 has the potential to just flip a lot of things we know about Kingdom Hearts on its head. Because
Yeah.
you alluded to this earlier, but yeah, like what if we find out like what Heartless actually are? Like they do have hearts after all when we kill them. Like what if we actually find out what they are? And that could open up a can of worms. Especially since like we've only known them through these specific forms for so long. But what if, for example, what if they originally came from unreality that as we know it right now? And honestly, a lot of the crazy things that we see in these screenshots, like Sora's reaction to something happening, maybe he finds out for himself, like, oh, like this isn't the Heartless I remember. And yeah, that, because again, going back to Missing Link could have had an explanation for a lot of the things we're seeing right now, but
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait even longer to get any sort of pieces to the puzzle we have right now.
Yeah, we're lost.
We're literally lost.
There's a lot of stuff that we need to know, and I love the theory of like, the Heartless potentially being from unreality, right? Like that's a fun theory. I think that's fun. And I like when we have fun theories instead of like trying to figure out exactly what it is, because nobody really knows. Kingdom Hearts is way too elusive for anybody to really know what's going on.
Right.
So it's like it's better for us to throw out like silly theories like that, because at the end of the day, if you think about back when the key keepers were really prevalent, like I'm not saying that they don't exist, I still watch a lot of them, especially the Gamers Joint, shout out to you, but here's the reality is that they used to upload a lot of theories back in the day. A lot of Kingdom Hearts YouTubers, this was the thing. When we had a drought, it was just theory crafting all day long. And none of it really came to fruition because nobody really knows, you know, like it just, nobody really knows. Nomura is a enigmatic man. You cannot figure out what's going on in his mind. He's going to do whatever he wants. And it seems like if the fans want it, he'll do it. It seems like he does what the fans want, especially with Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, bringing back Roxas and Gion doesn't really make sense to me from like a story perspective, right? Like in terms of how he had set it up, but people wanted them back, right? So we got them back. I think that the Heartless, that's a really interesting topic to get into, like why they look the way they look, etc. What is Yozora doing in all of this? I mean, I don't want to skip over the rest of the screenshots. You know, you have Mickey, you know, in Scarlet at Kylum, like seemingly.
Yeah, it's definitely
actually,
Scarlet
you know
at Kylum.
What is he doing? I mean, what's Mickey doing? Like, forget about the Yozora thing for a second. What is Mickey doing? Because we don't know what Yozora is doing. Like, this is just, that's theory crafting for sure. We definitely don't know what Yozora is doing. What is Mickey doing in Scarlet at Kylum? I don't know, bro. Like,
well, we did learn at the end of Melody of Memory.
Right.
Yensid sent Mickey to Scarlet at Kylum to learn about the forebears. And
right.
I'm assuming this must be some sort of library, like some sort of archive in Scarlet Kylum that, you know, for the sake of the Remind story, we didn't have a chance to visit. And I'm assuming Mickey's on the hunt for some sort of information, some sort of knowledge that can maybe help Sora and Riku. Because if you remember, they're both in Unreality.
That's right.
Like we saw in the secret episode for Kingdom Hearts 3, and you know, there has to be some sort of knowledge there about how these ancient Keyblade masters are able to sort of traverse in between. Because other than them, I think the Master of Masters is capable of doing that, and we have no idea how that's even possible. Like, we don't know how they can traverse between these planes of existence, and all of it leads back to Scarlet Kylum, and yeah, I think he's looking for something there that could be very useful.
There's story there that needs to be, you know, dealt with. You know, that's why we need a missing link. But there's story there that needs to be dealt with. And the feats that they're pulling off, you know, to traverse between these planes, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, the Master of Masters being in Unreality so casually, it's just like, I mean, if you guys are Versus Battles readers and enjoyers, like, you'd have to be a super nerd like me. But if you guys know about Versus Battles, like, these Kingdom Hearts characters are like Digimon Joker, like Persona level powerful, you know, like they're like,
right.
Sora is washing Goku. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, Sora is like really that strong. The dude can literally just reconstruct his entire soul, go back, reconstruct his friend's souls, basically rewind time and do it all over again. Like, that's just like, that's incredible power. Like, there's no way to really make that make sense to anybody who's just thinking about, oh, you know, Superman can punch, you know, a sun in half. Like, you know, like I'm just being silly, but my point being, like, these characters are fifth dimensional breaking characters. I mean, they're literally like incredibly meta. You know, Kingdom Hearts is a meta story. It's like there's a whole lot going on with reality, unreality, nothingness, you know, darkness, light, these concepts that are real. You know, darkness is not just a concept in Kingdom Hearts. It's a group of people. You know what I mean? Like, right. It's a group of entities. There is a reason for Sora's purpose and existence in this world. Like, he's here for a reason. This has all been prophesized, you know? This has all led up to this moment. You know, the master of masters, I can't imagine what's going through his head. Like, you know, like these characters are so undeniably powerful in Kingdom Hearts. Like there's not really an explanation as to how they got that powerful. Now, I don't think we really need one, but the fact that he's able to just show up in Quadratum, I mean, how did he get there to begin with? You know, like that's one thing, because we know how Sora got there, but like Riku, he got there because of the fairy godmother, right? So it's like, what is going on?
How does she know how to get to that side?
How does the fairy godmother know about this place? That's literally, bro. That's literally like Morpheus, like in the Matrix.
Yeah, literally.
Like being like, hey, you know, by the way, this place exists. You are in the Matrix. There is something outside of this reality that I know about, and that I can take you there. You know, like that's literally Morpheus. Like that's Morpheus, and Riku is Neo, and he's trying to take him to Zion, right? Like on God, bro. Get on the Nebuchadnezzar. It's time. Like, dude,
it's crazy.
Sora is Alice in Wonderland right now, and like Wonderland already existed in the series. This is an even bigger red pill for Sora to take. Like, honestly, bro, I'm saying a lot of facts. Like, dude, it's crazy to think about, bro.
It is. Just looking at these screenshots again, it's kind of crazy what he's gotten himself into here. But he's going to be uncovering a lot of things about this new world and sort of piecing things together. I'm seriously curious about why Streletsy is here.
Yes.
You know,
of all the people
I haven't played. Yeah, I haven't. It's kind of crazy. Like I remember the ending of Union Cross and Dark Road like it was yesterday, but that was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Years even. So I'm lost on a lot of the details of, you know, when I actually was closely paying attention to Union Cross and Dark Road, and it's just kind of like it makes me question a lot of the things behind sort of like death in Kingdom Hearts, because you know she's found herself in this strange world that's very similar to our own, and I'm guessing she's going to be helping Sora in a big way, and I'm seriously curious as to like why she's there and how she's gonna help Sora.
Yeah, it's fascinating because, you know, the concept of death in Kingdom Hearts is never really explained that well, in my opinion. Like, just how are there so many layers of death, and how did it all end up leading to Quadratum? You know, like unreality. You know, Sora has died after died after died, and now he's here. You know, he's completely expunged himself because of using the power of waking and all this other stuff, and it's led him to be in Quadratum, right? And you know, him facing Yozora and him not being present in the Kingdom Hearts universe. And the whole thing about, you know, Dark Road and Union Cross is, I remember us having those conversations long ago, right? And that was when we were caught up with the series. And the thing is, as bad as I want to make these videos on the Lost Pages, you know, and have these episodes come out, they're gonna take a minute. Like, if there's no news, they're gonna take a minute, because I have to do a lot of research and re-up myself on stuff. There are people like Damo, and like there's some YouTubers that are just really locked in and know everything there is to know about Union Cross and Unchained Key and the events to come and the events that happen. Like, they just know everything, right? And it's crazy, like, that people can reference such niche moments in, like, you know, basically thousands of minutes, you know, hundreds of hours of content, you know, to just hone in on certain things that they remember. Like, it just, they're linking stuff together, and I don't know how they're doing it. The missing link, no, they have the link already. Like, the link's not missing. Some of these dudes, bro, they know what they're talking about. So I want to be like them, but I feel like what we do, there's just so many games we want to play, and there's so much information in our heads already. It's like to fit in exclusive, like just Kingdom Hearts knowledge. Like if you know everything about One Piece, like that's a lot. There's a lot of arcs in One Piece, like, and there's a lot of characters. Like if you're remembering very specific chapters that are like, you know, odd, one-off, like weird, you know, scenarios, like, dude, One Piece is your life, you know? And it's like, as big of a Kingdom Hearts fan as we are, collectively, you know, like Kingdom Final Weapon as a whole, being just a huge group of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy fans, you know, this is kind of how it all started. This is how it all started, you know, with us being obsessed with this franchise, being obsessed with Final Fantasy, being obsessed with Persona. Like, there's so much out there now. You know, you're playing Trails, you know, we're watching all different types of animes, we're covering so much content, we got so much data going through our brains. It's like, I don't know if I have the solid state space in my mainframe, dude. Like my brain is running out of space to hold all of this Kingdom Hearts knowledge. And like, you know, it's like we have to catch up. Everybody knows what they're talking about, and I don't. I feel like I'm lost.
And just
you know?
to piggyback off of that, like going back to Dark Road, that ended in August 2022, so this was like hot off of Missing Link. So at that time, like off of Missing Link's announcement, so at that time a lot of us were ready for what was next, because we experienced the end of that. We had experienced the end of Union Cross not long before that, so we were caught up, we were ready. And
we had everything in our brains.
That's the sort of thing that kind of frustrates me with Kingdom Hearts sometimes, is that there's these sort of like lull periods in between the big releases and the things that we expect. We saw it before Kingdom Hearts 3, you know, that sort of like quiet saga of that drought of information leading up to that blowout before the launch in 2019. We're sort of experiencing this again, but it's almost like at this point it's even longer, because like just think about it, like these games were announced 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have at least seen gameplay for Kingdom Hearts 4 during the initial reveal, and we have these screenshots now, but like it's a really long gap. A lot of people are going to be lapsed fans in between then, because nothing's happening with the franchise really. So, you know, that leads to these moments where it's like, I remember that, you know, when I see these screenshots, but it's like, I definitely want more context for the stuff we learned Union Cross and Dark Road. And that's the one thing I take away from Missing Link's cancellation while we're waiting on more KH4 news, is like, there was a lot of really cool story beats and moments that we're just not going to see for the time being.
Yeah, man. Oh, that sucks, dude. That literally sucks. Like, and you talking about lapsed fans, like that's a real thing, you know?
Yes.
I've had many friends who are just like, bro, I think I'm done. And it's crazy to me, because I know like Kingdom Hearts runs in my blood. This is all I ever wanted, was to be able to, you know, say, hey, we have a connection with these people now. Like, you know, bro, growing up in the Kingdom Hearts community, man, like you're just thinking like, what am I going to be able to do? What can I do to be able to ask these people that make my favorite franchise of all time, like, what's going on, you know? And Kingdom Hearts is just something that we just get these huge, just dry periods and dry, like, it's just insane how this has felt like the longest one, because of just the complete and utter lack of anything. We have not even a morsel of feeling. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 at least had something going on in between the original release trailer, the original trailer of Kingdom Hearts 3,
Yes.
there was stuff happening afterwards. Like we
Right.
at least, we felt like it was dry because it was, but we had enough to talk about. We had a lot to talk about for years. Like we had Unchained Key, we had 0.2 coming out. Like there was stuff that was happening, right? Like we weren't completely dry like we are now, where Missing Link doesn't even exist, so we have nothing to talk about, right? Like we've already exhausted everything. I used to work at KH13. And we would have a poll of the day. And the poll of the day, we did so many of those, and y'all can find mine if y'all just go on the website. They're still there. We ran out of poll of the days basically because there was nothing to talk about. Right, we had talked about everything. Who's your favorite character? What's your favorite world? What's your favorite Keyblade? What's your favorite moment? What's your favorite cutscene? What's your favorite this, that, the third? What's your favorite boss? Who's your favorite enemy? What's your favorite nobody? Favorite Heartless? Favorite Unversed? Which part in BBS is your least favorite? Or like whatever. It's just ridiculous. And so, we ran out of topics to talk about because we had literally talked about everything. And then you're at a point in Kingdom Hearts content where everybody has spoken about everything. That's why the Lost Pages for me felt so difficult, because I was like, what am I going to say? So I was like, okay, we need to morph the formula and do something different, right? There's people like Novayan, who I have so much respect for, who I don't think makes KH content anymore. I haven't checked, but I know he was uploading like these first person like walkthroughs of all the intricate details of every single Kingdom Hearts world. Shout out to them. Y'all got to check that content out. I don't think they make content anymore, but they were amazing videos, and there's people that upload amazing Kingdom Hearts content on their channel. And, there's just nothing really to talk about though. Like look at the output of these YouTubers and look at the content they're making. It's no offense, but like if you just look at what people are talking about, there's not a lot to say. And so before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, there was just enough. There was enough, right? But on KH13, I ran out of poll of the days to talk about. Like there was nothing to talk about. We reverted to talking about FF10 and stuff like that. We were just talking about like adjacent series to Kingdom Hearts. Like what can we talk about here or there? Like, dude, it's really dry right now. The fact that we're geeked and making a whole podcast episode that was supposed to be weaponized about Kingdom Hearts for a couple of screenshots and a cancellation is crazy. Like,
yeah, this is like a emergency episode of the Lost Pages. This is sort of beyond what the norm for this series is, and it goes to show like how big this specific moment was for the series, because again, we were waiting 3 years, and I will admit, there was some activity, like the the closed beta tests in like certain regions for Missing Link, but then again, like that was really meager, and it didn't amount to anything at this moment because the game's canceled. If it does come back, say for like, if it were to come back as like a back cover style movie or like a visual novel presented in the way that Union Cross cutscenes were sort of like, that could be something they look toward in the future, sort of before Kingdom Hearts 4's release. But as of right now, like we're sort of in this waiting period again. We reset the clock basically, and we're just waiting for that next big drop. But I do think that Square Enix took notice of this sort of drought themselves, and I do think that they realized it's not good for their consumer base with the Kingdom Hearts series, because again, we've been waiting 3 years for both of these games, and I'm pretty sure Kingdom Hearts 4 was in development right after 3. So this game has been cooking for what, like 5 years now?
Yeah,
and,
it has.
It's almost like another sort of relic of the Square that we grew up on, where they sort of ran into this issue with long production times for their games. And it feels like Kingdom Hearts 4 is kind of like they're getting with the times in a way, but again, they're still going through this same process that we felt with Kingdom Hearts 3, where it's like nothing's happening in between. When the lead up to something, even if it's a few years away, is still very important. And
Yeah.
you know, having a lot of lapsed fans isn't good. And
No,
it's
not.
important to have these sort of like updates, these development updates and things to like sort of keep them hanging around, keep it going, keep the hype alive. I'm pretty sure this game might come out like in the next year or two.
Yeah.
I think we'll see something big. I'm not sure if it'll be in this year, but you know, in the relatively near future, we'll probably get like a blowout. But I certainly hope that this reveal sort of kicks things into gear, and we start getting a lot of important updates on the Kingdom Hearts series as a whole.
Yeah. You said it best, bro. Like, it's tough having to come to terms with the fact that, you know, sometimes it feels like we're fans of a series that feels like it's dying, or at least, you know, it felt like for a minute Square Enix wasn't, it felt like they didn't care, you know, like, it's like, where is the information? And of course, you know, the lapsed fans is not a good thing. And I'm sure they noticed that it was doing damage to their game. Like, the Steam release was one thing, you know, the Steam release, but that's the same games we've been playing, you know.
Yeah,
again,
people were
on
anticipating a Steam release for a long
Yep.
time. Like, people want that
Yep.
definitive version of these games to
Of
play on,
course.
you know, high-end PC or Steam Deck or something.
That's what we wanted, and we got it. And I'm very grateful. There is a couple of updates that still need to be done. The audio gets a little weird sometimes, but
Right.
you know, it's great that we have them on pretty much everything. Hopefully the Switch 2 gets them. That'd be sweet. That's
Oh yeah,
what we need.
we native ports on Switch 2. You know, DLSS or something in there as well. Get them running.
Yeah, the cloud ain't cutting
really
it
well. Yeah, that absolutely not. We can't be having cloud ports on a Switch 2.
No.
Especially with Kingdom Hearts, that's not happening.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts requires a little bit more, you know, precision. I know it's not like a first-person shooter, but it can be difficult if you play on the hardest difficulty, guys. Y'all know. If y'all know, y'all know. But
Dude,
we're
can you
here.
imagine playing the Yozora fight on like through the cloud? Can you imagine?
I think I've seen a couple of videos of people doing that, by the way.
I wouldn't.
KH4 is on cloud.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, it's insane. Like, no. No. I could not, because one error in any of those fights is your death. I mean, that's the end of Sora's life. Like, you mess up once and you're just cooked. I was literally talking to a customer about this. Like, how like precise you have to be in KH4 Remind because of the super bosses and their super armor. Like, if you let them go, like, you have to go back to dodging. Like, it's like bro, this may be a video in the future. I don't want to give anybody any ideas, but Kingdom Hearts is a turn-based game because in KH4 Remind, you are taking turns between you hitting the boss and the boss hitting you. Like, it's not like an equal fight where, you know, you're going sword for sword, you know?
Right.
Like, it is hey, the boss is open, hit them, and oh, you're open and the boss is not. Because, like, I don't know, there's a lot to say about that. But again, Kingdom Hearts, you know, I hope that we have more frequent news, and of course they're going to have that big explosion of news like they always do when the game is about to release, you know, or when we get closer to release, there's going to be more content. It does look like they've put a lot of effort into what we have now, at least the screenshots that they've shown us. These are not press level screenshots. Again, this is just like a collage that they made on like Instagram or something like that. Like, it's like a Snapchat collage or something. Like, it's fine. It works. I'm glad we have something. I know a lot of people are very grateful. I'm happy that we have stuff. Again, we are fans of this franchise. We are spending our money on this game. Does Square Enix have an obligation to give us content? Not necessarily, but you know, it's not like we've already spent our money on it. You know, the pre-orders don't exist, but you know, I hope that they take us seriously, you know, from here on out. Like, I think that, you know, we as Kingdom Hearts fans, like we show up every time, you know, no matter what.
Right.
Like, no matter how we're treated, we always show up. So I think we deserve a little more respect, you know, for how dedicated we are to this franchise. And like, you know, regardless of how we feel about these games, like we're still here, you know, we're still present. And,
Correct.
you know, I haven't lapsed yet. I know I have some peers that have, or pretend that they have. And I already know y'all are finna buy the game like anyway. Like, there's no way you're not buying KH4 when it's on the shelf, when it's on the digital storefront, like when it's the advertisement on the front of PSN and Steam or whatever. Like, you're definitely buying it. Like, there's no way. Like, I can't imagine me lapsing on KH and then seeing KH4 pop up on the storefront and not pressing buy. Like,
Right.
It does not matter. Like, that's Kingdom Hearts 4. Like, it's another Kingdom Hearts game. It's getting bought. It's the next game in the franchise, not the saga. The saga's over. It's the first game in the next arc. You know, I assume since they're calling them arcs now instead of sagas, they're probably going to be shorter.
Maybe,
but I don't know.
I have no idea. I feel like this arc is going to be very, very key, though. Like, it ties into basically everything we've seen up to this point. Which
I wonder when it's all going to end.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what the end point is. I feel like the goalpost always gets moved, you know, with Kingdom Hearts. Like, what is the next big bad? And like, it feels like the next big bad always shows up before the previous big bad is even done, you know? And I don't even consider the Master of Masters to be bad in the first place, you know? Like, we might fight him, but I don't think that he's like a villain. You know, it's always been about the darknesses and us like vanquishing them. And Sora is kind of like the chosen one in doing so.
And whatever's in that box.
Dude,
it's so many years. We don't know what's
look
in
at
that
how
box.
we went. Right. Look at how we went 47 minutes and 40 seconds without mentioning what's in the box. Like, that's just like, that's how you know there's so many plot points that haven't been touched. Like, and there's so much they need to do. And they kind of, I don't want to say Nomura wrote himself into a hole. You know, this is not like a Masashi Kishimoto moment where, like, you know, Madara has infinite ki and like he has to make Kaguya Otsutsuki in order to defeat him. Like, or like, you know, there's no way to defeat Madara, so there needs to be somebody else to do it. Like, I don't feel like this is that moment, but like, you know, a lot of franchises kind of come to that. You know, if they go on for too long, you know, there's a moment where the writer kind of writes himself into a hole. And I think Nomura has kind of put himself in a position where like he has to cover a lot of bases. Like, there's a lot of stuff he hasn't finished. You know, there's a lot of plot beats that haven't been concluded. Missing Link doesn't exist now. You know, so if he's gonna take, you know, Rymus and Nept and all these other characters and make them something, you know, or whatever their names are, like, you know, we need.
It's been so long since we've encountered some of these characters, like Brain specifically. Like, oh,
right,
man.
dude. It's like Rymus is from Dragon Ball Daima. What is this dude's name? Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't know these characters' names anymore, bro. Like, I'm not looking at Missing Link cutscenes every day, guys. Like, we had a big drought, and then all of a sudden we got hit with screenshots. Like, it's just like, you know, like, who are these people? So it's like, you know, that's evident of, you know, we can be huge Kingdom Hearts fans, you know, but like, we can't remember every little detail of the billions of characters that exist. It's like, imagine me as a World Trigger fan trying to tell you the names of the World Trigger characters, bro. I can only name like 3. There's literally like hundreds of World Trigger characters, and every time they pop on the screen, they'll show their name on the anime. Like, they'll show it on the bottom, and they'll show like their rank and everything and what they do with their power or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter because there's so many of them. You're just gonna forget.
Yeah. At that point, only the most memorable ones will come to mind. Like,
exactly. The human brain can only remember so much, guys. Like, you know, we're not spending every day, like, you know, this may be the lost pages, like I said, but like, it's hard to keep up, dude. There's a whole lot going on, and there's not enough happening. You know, if we were getting like weekly episodes of it, like an anime or something, like, it'd be easier because we would be seeing these characters all the time. We'd be hearing about them. But it's like, this game doesn't even exist. You know, like the game that we're talking about doesn't even exist, and there's characters that may or may not exist in Kingdom Hearts anymore. You know, I don't feel
Right.
like Nomura would completely nuke the whole concept, right? But like something has to come out of that. So anyway, you know, we have a lot of news, and we really don't. We really don't. We have
At the same
we have
time,
a lot
yeah.
of news comparatively. Exactly, we have a lot of news comparatively to what we've had. But this is the Lost Pages episode 2. If you have anything else to say, Soul, say it. But I'm pretty much wrapped up.
Yeah, other than that, I'm just hoping for more regular updates on the series, you know. I'm
Yeah,
hoping Missing Link gets repurposed into something meaningful, whether it's a back cover style movie, whether it's hell, it could even be just like a manga or something, or some sort of like blog post that we get every month or so, you know, sort of detailing some things that we can expect. But yeah, other than that, it's back into the hole, man. Like
I know.
whenever it's back to whenever more Kingdom Hearts news happens, because I'll be there.
Dog, we'll both be there, and we'll be here on the Lost Pages to yap about it once again.
For
But
50
thank you
minutes.
guys. Yeah, for 50 minutes. But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you. For all things Kingdom Hearts, check us out at finalweapon.net or follow us on our Twitter at FNLWPN and subscribe, of course. See you guys later.